Have you ever wondered what the best master plan communities in the Tucson area are? In this video, I'm going to share with you the top 5 best master plan communities in the Tucson and greater Tucson area. And as a bonus, when you watch this video all the way through, I'm also going to share a little secret using my 15 years of experience as a real estate appraiser. I'm going to share with you which of these master plan communities has experienced the most significant appreciation over the last decade. You're definitely not going to want to miss that. Let's jump in. Hey, I'm Rich, and if this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything that there is to know about lifestyle, real estate, and new builds in Tucson and the greater Tucson area, then you've landed on the right channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can stay tuned in and tap the bell for notifications so you can be the very first to learn everything that you want to know. All right, so first up, we're going to jump into the map. And one of the first communities we're going to talk about is one of my favorite. I've spent quite a bit of time with buyers and sellers in this area. And just to kind of get oriented, let's take a look at where we're at. So Tucson, start with downtown Tucson. If those of you that watch any of my map videos, I kind of start to orient from University of Arizona and downtown Tucson, generally located here. If you're new to Tucson, this is just a quick refresher. I-10 is our main interstate that runs through pretty much the entire city. You've got I-19, which is another interstate that runs further south. And so you got I-10 headed to New Mexico that way, which is east. And then you've got I-10 that heads kind of northwestern to Phoenix, ultimately to California. So the first community that we're going to look at is an area called Gladden Farms. And Gladden Farms is a very large community. They have really started building a lot of homes out there in the last 5 to 10 years. And until recently, there wasn't a whole lot of commercial development out there, which is actually a huge perk now because now they've got their first grocery store. There's a QT gas station. They're bringing in some fast food. They've got in that area now. They have Bisbee Breakfast Club, which is a great breakfast place. So now that we're seeing some of that commercial infrastructure and commercial development start, I think we're going to really start to see Gladden Farms hit the next milestone in terms of its production. It's I think demand. So Gladden Farms is located off of I-10, very conveniently located. Some of the key features, as I break down in this video for each of these communities, Gladden Farms in particular, you've got 15 parks and playgrounds. If you like to spend time outdoors, if you have little ones and that's something that's important to you and your family, then this is an incredible community for all of those outdoor activities. You've got miles and miles of green belts along with walking trails throughout this community as well. There are several new builders. There's a lot of new construction that has taken place in this community in the last 5 to 10 years, and there are still several active builders in this area as well. So it's definitely has a well-planned layout with room for future growth, and it's got a mix of different home sizes. You've got homes ranging in here from 1,200 square feet all the way up to 3,500 square feet. So you really have a wide range of home sizes as well as a wide range of home prices, which is really good because it fits a variety of different budgets. Now, like I mentioned, it is now located near some nice retail developments for added convenience. Like you've got this Quick Trip gas station here. There is a grocery store now. You've got some fast food. Bisbee Breakfast Club, like I mentioned, Jack in the Box, Bisbee Breakfast Club is out over here. And I think one of the main benefits of Gladden Farms is I like it because it's off the beaten path. It's outside of Tucson. You really get that kind of suburban feel outside of the hustle and bustle. but because you're on I-10, it's an easy commute pretty much to anywhere you want to go. I mean, I've got quite a bit of people that end up working at Davis-Monthan Air Force Base, which is located here. Davis-Monthan Air Force Base. And as you can see, Gladden Farms is located here. So even that, you're less than a 40-minute commute on, if you're going early enough, could be low 30s. Depending on how fast you drive, it might even be less than 30. So if you're a fast driver, there you go. I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just letting you know it's possible. As far as lifestyle, this is perfect for buyers who enjoy outdoor spaces, a really strong community feel focused on outdoor living, and really easy access to I-10 and everything that is accessible to I-10. Because in this area, you've got quite a bit, just a stone's throw away, just a quick drive. You've got Continental Ranch, which is a very established community. You got Safeway and lots of other community or conveniences located there. In Northwest Tucson out here, you've got golfing, you've got more conveniences, shopping, retail. You also have your Costco, which is located here pretty close. I mean, that's probably within about 15 to 20 minutes. So you got everything that you need pretty darn close. Now, from an insider's perspective, somebody who's lived in Tucson my entire life, actually, my family's lived in Tucson for over 150 years. So I've worked professionally in real estate for over 15 years, and I spent a lot of time in this community and the other communities I'm going to mention. But from my perspective, I think something that you're not going to be able to really find on Google is this area is really developing very quickly. It's experienced a lot of rapid growth in the last 5 to 10 years. So there's a lot of benefit that buyers get from buying early in the phase of this construction. We've seen quite a bit of increase in demand in this area because of that. And I would definitely advise you to pay attention to future phases that they're continuing to build out here, because I think that that's really going to influence traffic. It could influence the values in the area. And so I think it's definitely one area to keep eyes on in a positive light. Definitely keep eyes on in a positive light, because I think it's got a lot going for it. All right, so next up, we are going to jump a little bit further south to an area called Rancho Sahuarita. And I know I say that Sahuarita, if you're a local, you know that that is spelt Sahuarita. But if you're not a local, you may be like, what did he just say? What just came out of his mouth? Rancho Sahuarita is how you say that. Some people call it Sahuarita, Sahuarita. However you want to call it, it's all the same. Rancho Sahuarita is a great master plan community south of Tucson. I would say the majority of the people, I've done a lot of work both in my appraisal business and my appraisal career, also helping people buy and sell homes in this area, in this community as well. It's fantastic. It actually has a large man-made lake, if you will. It's a desert lake, mind you. If you're coming from somewhere where if you're used to big lakes, I mean, you're going to laugh, but it is a man-made lake. It's wet. Let's just put it that way. It's got water in it, and anything that's got water in it that's bigger than a pool, we consider a lake out here in the desert. So pretty cool. Actually funny, when they first opened this community and started building and developing this many, many years ago, I remember, I wasn't in real estate at the time, but I was a teenager. I remember they were advertising, giving away small little sailboats with a home purchase that you could sail on this lake. And I remember thinking, like, what? How is that even possible? Anyway, times have changed. I don't know if there's still sailboats that go down that lake. I haven't seen any, but it has quite a bit of walking paths around this. This is a very vibrant community. It has central clubhouse with pools. It has a gym, and they do a ton of community events around different holidays, 4th of July, really just getting the community involved together. So if you're looking for that tight-knit community feel, I think this is a great, great option, especially if you've got a larger family, if you've got kids that you want places to play outside and things to do outside of your home, and other people for them, or other similar ages to be able to play with. I think that for a lot of buyers, that is a big draw to this area. But there is something for all ages in Rancho Sahuarita. So definitely one to put on the list. And it's got the some of the most beautiful walking paths in southern Arizona. So in miles and miles of those. There are quite a bit of homes from modern designs to more contemporary southwestern designs, and the landscaping throughout this community is beautiful. So nice streets lined with mature landscaping. The neighborhoods are well kept, and so it's just a very inviting area. As far as lifestyle, this is really ideal for buyers who are looking for a vibrant neighborhood, something that really has an emphasis on activity and an active lifestyle. You've got lots of amenities, so people who find the amenities convenient, like public pools, community pools, parks, spas, picnic areas, basketball courts, volleyball courts, the clubhouse, the gyms. Um, Really, it's ideal for people who are really valuing that, who want that additional activity base outside of just their home. Having worked in this area as long as I have, over 15 years professionally, one of the insider perspectives that I want to give you is it is close to a lot of shopping, and because even though it's separated from Tucson, it's really a quick drive to Tucson International Airport if you're traveling downtown Tucson, central Tucson. If you work at DM, it's a quick commute. We've got a lot of people who work at DM, and veterans that are located in Rancho Sahuarita that work at DM, and even further other employers like Raytheon, which is one of our biggest employers, University of Arizona, another big employer. So it's very convenient, even though it's a little bit further south from Tucson. One of the things that I will guide you on is, because it has such a big emphasis on a lot of the community amenities, which are incredible. If you value those, pay attention to the HOA, because the HOA I haven't heard horror stories about the HOA. In fact, it's not really a thing that we have a problem with out here. But I have, for certain buyers that may not value those additional amenities, the HOA fees are going to be a little bit higher because you get quite a bit. You get access to a lot of stuff. So just one thing, just an insider perspective on that for you. Keep in mind, I want to just remind you, I am going to share with you some insider secrets using my appraisal background, and share with you which of these communities it has experienced the most significant appreciation over the last decade. And I'm kind of thinking, as a bonus, I'm also going to look into my crystal ball. This is a full disclosure. This is not an appraisal or anything to be misunderstood as that. But certainly, I have 15 plus years of experience as an appraiser, and I've been party to 500 sales in real estate as well. So I'm using that background and that experience to, if I was buying and I was looking at master plan communities, and I was considering using all the background and experience that I have, which community I think is going to be really on a rocket ship of appreciation over the next decade, looking forward 10 years, I'll share with you that information too. So you're definitely not going to want to miss that. We're going to get to that soon, so hang with me. The next one is going to be Dove Mountain. Now, this community is in northwest Tucson. I love this community. The more time that I spend in Dove Mountain, the more time that I think, for me and our family's next move, it's definitely making the list. It's secluded. It's that resort style living. I'm not much of a golfer, which is probably the biggest strike against it for me personally. I enjoy golf, but I'm not. I've been called a lot of things. A golfer is not one of those. So that may change in the future, but Dove Mountain definitely has some really, really beautiful landscape, incredible homes, and it's just a beautiful area. One of my favorite things about Dove Mountain, is since it's so new, it just has, everything feels fresh, from the roads to the sidewalks to the street lights to the signs to the homes. Just all the infrastructure is fresh. It's new. It's got that new car look to the neighborhood. It's kept really nicely, and the views are incredible. It is, as the name would indicate, it is on a bit of a mountain, more of a, I would say, a large hill in compared to like the Santa Catalina Mountains, which are close. So it does have a pretty expansive view of the surrounding Tucson area. And like I mentioned, it's resort level amenities, including the Ritz Carlton and several different golf courses, world class golf courses. It's got over 80 holes of championship golf. So those of you who are avid golfers, not like myself, that is definitely an area that is a huge selling point for Dove Mountain. And homes range from luxury estates on large pieces of property with lots of square footage and incredible design features, but they also offer more accessible homes. There's a wide range of price that takes place in Dove Mountain as well. Overall, the prices are more elevated or slightly elevated above the average price in Tucson. However, if you are not quite at that luxury level and you're not quite in that luxury market, don't sweat it, because Dove Mountain has incredible options that keep you far off of that luxury price range. There is extensive hiking as part of this community as well. They've got, I think, over 30 miles of outdoor walking trails and biking trails, perfect for outdoor enthusiasts. Really, a lot of these communities in Tucson are perfect for outdoor enthusiasts. I think that's part of why people move here, is we get those 7 to 8 months of beautiful weather like we're experiencing right now. Yes, the summers are hot. Of course, everyone's heard about the 117-degree summer day in July. I get it. I've lived here my whole life. Trust me, I get it. But most of the year, we're getting very temperate weather, very manageable, and it's just great to get outside and spend some time outdoors. As far as lifestyle, this is really great for people seeking that luxury experience, that resort style amenity experience. Quiet, you've got a serene setting away from the hustle and bustle of Tucson, yet you're still accessible. This loop coming down Dove Mountain Boulevard and connecting with Twin Peaks here, I mean, you're 15 minutes to 20 minutes away from I-10, and then you're on that main corridor. I mean, you've got access to Northwest Tucson. You can shoot downtown pretty quick. So very conveniently located in the grand scheme of things, for sure. Now, as far as some insider perspective from me, having worked in Dove Mountain quite a bit, properties often maintain a very strong resale value. And I think a lot of that is due to the fact that we've seen a continuation of a lot of building of new homes in this area. There's future phases planned. There's land being acquired and subdivided, and that is most likely going to continue because there's quite a bit of developed of area to still develop here. So we have seen quite a bit of strength in the resale values in this area. And I think you combine that with the prestige that Dove Mountain has, it really adds to the appeal, and the amenities. I mean, I think it's unique. It's very unique. I would relate this to kind of a Scottsdale. If you're familiar with the Phoenix area and Scottsdale, this is kind of the Tucson equivalent of Scottsdale. Very nice, and incredible views of golf courses, and even city lights. All right, so next up, we're gonna take a shot out to Vail, Northwest Tucson, Dove Mountain area. We're gonna leave that. We're gonna head down I-10 all the way out here to Vail, and we're gonna go to an area called Rocking K. Now, I've covered a lot of this area because I've been very excited about this over the last several years as it's come to a point of the subdividing being done and builders actually opening up and sales offices opening up, because it's been in the works for quite some time. But this is the newest and arguably one of the most exciting master plan communities we've seen in quite some time. I would say it's upscale for Vail, and it's just very nice. They've got it laid out nicely. One of my favorite things is the drive into Vail. These Rincon Mountains are incredible, just these rolling hills and the natural cactus and desert landscape. It really is pretty amazing. If you're living here full time, just to drive to and from your house and check out those views, or whether you're coming here part-time and you know, while you're in town, you get to experience that drive. So very cool destination and great drive-in. This is nestled. Rocking K Ranch is nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountains. It has stunning desert and mountain views, like I mentioned. It's a newer community, so it is focused on upscale homes and modern layouts, which is really popular right now. We've got several builders who are operating in this area. There's about 4 or 5 of them right now. There's a lot of future phases to come in this community, so most likely we're going to see additional builders pop up. But they've got extensive hiking trails, equestrian facilities. There are open green spaces as well. And, you know, you've got Loma Alta Trailhead, which is a very popular one, Tanque Verde Ridge Trail here, Quilter Trail here. And so this Rincon Mountain Range is just littered with incredible hikes, outdoor experiences. And so when you want to hit some of that on horseback, whether you want to hit some of that on foot, if you're a mountain biker, some incredible trails in this area as well. And really kind of, again, appeals to that outdoor enthusiast. You're going to kind of find that common theme everywhere in Tucson because we have some incredible landscape to explore. This is really going to be perfect for buyers who are seeking a semi-rural, I would call it. And it's so suburban, I guess, semi-rural. It's not quite developed yet. This community is so new that it's much like Gladden Farms. It doesn't yet have the conveniences that it's going to have, but rest assured, those conveniences are coming. They are building thousands of homes out here over the next 10 years. And because of that, the commercial developments certainly are going to come service all of those people because let's face it, there's a lot of money to be made. There's a lot of demand for that. So grocery stores, gas stations, you know, the restaurants, fast food, all that stuff is going to be coming. Not exactly sure when, but for sure, you know, I would place a large bet on the fact that we're going to see that start to develop over the next 3 to 5 years. As far as my experience, kind of giving you some insider perspective out here, it's very peaceful. It's very peaceful out here. They have an emphasis on low density out here, which is one of my favorite things. I might have mentioned that about Dove Mountain. If I didn't, then Dove Mountain has an emphasis on low density. There is a certain percentage of the area that is mandated to stay natural desert to keep the density, meaning how many homes they can pack into a certain area to keep that number without going too high. So they're not just cramming as many homes as possible in a small area. Same thing in Dove Mountain. They have something similar there. And because of that, it's very appealing for privacy. It's got incredible scenic surroundings, like I mentioned. Because of all the new construction, I think it's likely to have a long-term value and probably some incredible resale value and retention of value due to the limited land that is available out here. And if demand continues, I think it's going to be eaten up pretty quick. So that is a look at the Rocking K area. Now, again, we've got our last community I'm going to cover. And just as a reminder, like I mentioned, stay tuned because I'm going to share with you which of these 5 communities has had the most substantial appreciation. So you'll know which one might be the best place to place your money if you're looking for appreciation. And I'm also going to give you some additional insight from my perspective, very familiar with all of these areas, which one, if I was in the market and I was in your shoes with my 15 years of experience and over 2,000 real estate transactions I've been a part of, which area I personally would place my bet that it's going to experience just a big swing in upward appreciation. So stay tuned for that. You're definitely not going to want to miss it. It's coming up soon. La Estancia is the final community here on the list, and I'll show you kind of where that is. La Estancia is located I-10 and Wilmot. In between Wilmot and well, really Valencia. Little town here isn't part of it, but this is La Estancia here. So it's weird. They've got Wilmot and Kolb. Here we go. So in between Wilmot and Kolb, this is La Estancia. If you like resort style and you want more convenience, because this is located very close to I-10, they've got resort style pools, splash pads, plenty of green spaces, easy access to I-10. And I know some of you might be thinking, does that mean you're going to get a lot of road noise? There are some areas closer to I-10 that you're definitely going to get road noise, no doubt about it. For some buyers that we help buy in this area, it's a big deal. For others, it's not. There is a buyer for every home, regardless of whether it has freeway traffic or not. I do have a video that I talk about the best features. There's a lot of new construction happening here, so there's still several active builders in here, and most of these homes have been built in the last 5 or 6 years. But I have an entire video where I break down all of the upgrades from the builder, all the things when building a new build house to take into consideration that translate to resale value. So go grab that video. I'll leave it in the description so that you can review that. I talk about lot preference and how that plays into values of homes in the resale market. So take a look if you're curious, but there is a buyer for every home. Overall, a lot of this, you don't hear barely any traffic. Like, I guess if you're standing there in the middle of the night and you just can't hear anything except a light buzz in the background of I-10, okay, you might hear some noise. But honestly, the way that the new homes are built with the insulation and the windows, and when you're inside your house, you don't hear anything, even here. So yeah, something to consider. Great for commuting because of the convenience of I-10 in really downtown Tucson and all of Tucson. You've got quite a bit of conveniences on this I-10 corridor, including Costco, Super Walmart, Dave & Buster's, In-N-Out Burger. There's actually something really cool being built right here on this corner where my cursor is. This is the biggest development in Tucson's history. It's a sports complex called the Mosaic Quarter. I have a video on it, and it's labeled Tucson's first $1 billion, billion with a B, first $1 billion facility or development. Go watch that video. It'll share some really exciting information. If you're a sports fan, if you like league play, lots and lots of cool stuff coming over the next 5 years with that. But that is very, very close to Keno Sports Complex, baseball, soccer. So you've really got easy access to everything. A lot of people in La Estancia, man, I would say we've helped probably 10 buyers buy in La Estancia that are veterans that work at Davis Monthan here. So great place. It's very convenient. A lot of veterans really like the convenience of it located there. This is really ideal for buyers who want convenience and want to be close to Tucson's core, but still enjoy a little bit of that suburban feel. So you're a little bit outside of the city, but you're close to everything. 15 minutes and you've got everything at your fingertips, but you're not fighting through central Tucson traffic. As far as some insider perspective on this one, I think that this is one of the top areas to watch for builder incentives. That's been our experience working with a lot of buyers who are buying in here. I think the builders are really keen on offering some incentives to stay competitive between what's being offered out in Vail in those builders, as well as what's being offered in Rancho Sahuarita. I think this is a great area to really keep an eye on for builder incentives and upgrades or additional upgrades that they might be willing to throw in, because that's been our experience helping other buyers buy here as well. So also because of its close proximity to some of the major employers off of I-10, I think we're going to continue to see demand in this particular area really soar. All right, so go ahead and comment below which of these 5 master plan communities do you think fits your criteria the best? I'm really curious. Comment below which one it is for you and maybe give me a little insight as to why. All right, so to deliver on the promise that I made at the beginning of the video, let's dive into which of these areas has experienced the most significant appreciation over the last decade, and that is, drumroll please, Dove Mountain. Dove Mountain has the most significant appreciation history of appreciation. I think that a lot of that has to do with it being a luxury community. It's high-end amenities. I think it's poised as well to continue that appreciation curve over time, and especially for properties that are adjacent to the golf course or have an incredible golf course view or have a premium view. That is a big reason why people appreciate Dove Mountain. And it's quiet, it's serene, it's private, it has that exclusive feel to it. And so that is likely a great market if appreciation and really just securing that appreciation long term. I think Dove Mountain is poised to be a really great place to pay attention. Now, on top of that, I want to mention to you that there is one extra thing based on my experience that I'm going to share with you in knowing the Tucson and greater Tucson area as well as I do. Out of the areas that I just mentioned, Dove Mountain is likely, along with a lot of these communities, are going to continue to appreciate. Tucson's appreciated almost 10% year over year over the last 10 years. So the appreciation is there in Tucson as a whole. All of these areas are going to appreciate over time, most certainly. Now, one area that I mentioned on this list that I think is based on today's price, and if I forecast into the future, if I was a buyer and I was using my experience, which of these areas I would want to buy in at today's price to capture as much appreciation as possible based on what it offers too. So this is views, range of homes, the drive, amenities that are to come, all that sort of stuff. I'm going to point your direction to Rocking K. I'm going to continue to cover a lot of what's happening out here with future videos, but I believe that this is poised to be one of the most incredible master plan communities that we've seen in a very, very long time, for more than just appreciation. But I do think because it's so new, it has so much room to grow. It's got a lot of legs on it, and it's going to be building far, far into the future. And we haven't yet seen that big spike of commercial development come in like we saw in Gladden Farms and Rancho Sahuarita. I think it's looking at what happens to those communities at that point. This is very much poised to be a master plan community I would pay attention to, especially if you're looking for, if you have an emphasis on wanting to protect your investment and, capture as much appreciation as possible. I really think that today's prices in Rocking K are going to be really advantageous. So keep an eye on that one for sure. Now you've got a little bit of insider secrets on all of these communities, and there you go. Now you know the best master plan communities in Tucson and the greater Tucson area. If you like this video, do me a favor, give it a huge thumbs up. That helps me, helps the channel, helps us continue to know that people appreciate this type of content. So thank you for doing that. Lastly, if you are planning on buying or selling a house in the next 12 months, let's get connected. All my contact information is below. The easiest way to get a hold of me is to grab my phone number and text me, or you can jump right on my calendar so we can meet face-to-face over a Zoom and we can talk then. I'd love to meet you. Until next time, I hope to see you around the neighborhood.